Hello friends, welcome in. Thank you so much for joining me. I've been thinking about doing this for a while and finally decided to do it. I am making some expanded family for the pancakes. This video will be of Eliza's side of the family, and I'll probably make another one for Bob's side another time if you enjoy this one. So you'll see that I actually started creating these Sims in the Pancake household with Bob and Eliza. That's just so that I can make them related easier, and then I'll separate them into their own households afterwards. I just find that this is an easier way to go about it than using a bunch of cheats and MC Command Center, stuff like that. We are starting off making Eliza's mom and dad. I feel like Eliza kind of gets a bad rap, but I think it can all be boiled down, or at least some of it can be boiled down to how she was raised and her family. Not to excuse her snobby tendencies, of course. Eliza's mom is not the worst, but she's definitely not the nicest either. So her mom's name is Darlene Hastings. Hastings is Eliza's official maiden name that was revealed in the high school years trailer, if you didn't know, because I didn't know either until I looked it up. But Darlene is a perfectionist, nosy, and proper, with the successful lineage aspiration. She has a very high expectation of her family, perhaps a little unrealistically, which never ends well. Despite being hardest on Eliza, or Elizabeth as Darlene calls her, Eliza's younger sister Kelly, who we'll get to later, seems to get it easy, and their mom is much more permissive of her, Kelly, which only led to a grudge developing between the two sisters. However, Darlene is also very easy and forgiving on Bob and Eliza's newborn son, Roman. Is it because Darlene has softened with her age and realized that control isn't a great way to express love? Or is it her outdated belief that boys will be boys and need less direction than girls? I don't know. Regardless of her parenting heel turn, she truly does adore her grandchildren, which, as you'll see later, there are a lot of. Before I move on and talk about Eliza's father next, who's coming up soon, I just wanted to mention how much I love making Sims families and videos like this. I don't know, there's just so much storytelling and so much ideas that are running through my head on who these Sims are and what their backstory is whenever I create Sims like this, and I think it's so much fun to create, extended family for my Sims that I love so much, like Bob and Eliza. I just think there are so much potential and possibilities for even just gameplay. Like, the reason why I thought of this idea was that I thought it would be so fun to have Eliza's mom come over as like a stayover and stay with Bob and Eliza in the guest room for a few days and see all like the chaos that ensues from that. And then I just started thinking, like, why is Eliza the way that she is? And then, probably like familial competition. I think that makes kind of a lot of sense and really helps to flesh out her character and make her a little bit less two-dimensional. Is it one or two-dimensional? I always forget. But make her less flat of a character. Okay, but now we are working on Eliza's father. I really like how he turned out. I think he gives off total dad vibes. Okay, but back to the lore. Jack Hastings, her father, couldn't be any more different from Darlene. He's very quiet, soft-spoken, a bit of an introvert and loner, also a little bit lazy, but a goofball with his family, loves to joke around, make, all kinds of lame dad jokes that makes everybody roll their eyes. And he also has the soulmate aspiration, which is really sweet. He has a deep love for his growing family and is immensely supportive of both of his daughters, Eliza and Kelly. However, now that his kids are grown and having families of their own, the cracks are starting to show between his marriage with Darlene. Though they both care deeply for each other and the life that they've built together, it seems like an amicable separation may be on the horizon, but for now, they still live together on opposite wings of their shared estate. If a separation does take place, will Jack be able to find a new love to spend the rest of his days with? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. Moving on to Eliza's little sister, or I suppose younger sister, now that she's grown up and has a large family of her own, Kelly Baxter. Eliza and Kelly's relationship was based on the book Jacob Have I Loved, if you've ever read it, where Eliza has always felt in the shadow of her younger sibling who always finds a way to be the center of attention from peers and their parents, and has always gotten everything she's ever wanted. Kelly has always been noticed for her charm, charisma, talent, grace, and beauty. And while it may feel as though she purposefully steals the spotlight from Eliza, with her being competitive and jealous, there is also a side of her that feels the pressure of the limelight and is also a bit envious of Eliza's ability to go unnoticed. She is an overachiever, feeling everyone's expectations of her and not wanting to disappoint anyone. And I also feel like she's the kind of person who always thinks she's being helpful and is trying to be super nice, but is maybe a little bit oblivious or in a bit of a bubble, but has good intentions anyway. With her aspiration of neighborhood confidant, we can see her nice side. She wants to help people, even though it doesn't always end up maybe how she thought. And she is a bit of a busybody, very friendly and nice, but not necessarily always kind, if that makes sense. I feel like we've all known someone who's kind of like that. You'll see I really tried to make every character have their pros and cons, really round them out as, real people often are. They're not one note, they're not just pure evil or pure good. There is a combination of both in everyone, and so I really wanted to display that, and I think it's just more fun in general to play with Sims who are not just straight evil, but not totally perfect either. It really took me such a long time to pick out all of Kelly's outfits. I wanted to go more of the girly kind of side, a bit preppy as well. This was also my first time using the new makeup from that makeup kit, and wow, those lipsticks are so good, and like the eyeliner too. I feel like this kit negates any need for CC makeup, except for my CC eyelashes. You can pry those out of my cold dead hands, but I am totally in love with the kit makeup. I don't even know the name of the kit, but it's great. Like, those lips look so good. And now, coming up really soon, we are moving on to the rest of the Baxter family. Kelly married a successful, attractive man, Charles Baxter, to her mother's delight and approval, of course. Charles is active, a snob, which is fitting for him, but I also think it's cute because that means that he gets along really well with Eliza, who is also a snob, and he's also a dog lover. He may seem like the self-absorbed, not such a nice guy type, but he's actually a really great guy and a wonderful father. He has the big happy family aspiration and plays a big role in the lives of his 3 kids. He's often out in the yard tossing a ball with either his eldest son, Logan, or playing fetch with their Burmese mountain dog, Dutch. Yes, I named him Dutch, like from Red Dead Redemption. Despite working so much, Charles always makes time to spend with his kids when he's home and has excitedly embraced his new role as a first-time girl dad with the recent birth of his daughter, Sophia. But he also makes sure to give extra attention to their toddler, George, so he doesn't feel left out as the middle child. I truly do feel like Charles and Kelly are a perfect match because they each have some maybe unideal traits, but they bring out the best in each other. I really like how Charles turned out. I think his outfits all look really good, they make a lot of sense, but even just his face is so unique. I think from a lot of Sims that I make, like, he just looks like he could be a real person, but I really had no plan or reference for him. I also, have in my head canon that even though his name is Charles, everybody calls him Charlie as like a nickname, which I think is really cute. And yeah, he really does not look like he would be a very nice guy from the exterior. Looks can be deceiving, and I really wanted to flip those expectations on their head. But we are almost done. Now we just have to talk a little bit about the littles, the Baxter kids. Logan is a bit of a loner, a really quiet, shy kid with the whiz kid aspiration. Loves to spend time reading books and writing stories. Also, if you see me using the genealogy thing where you can make a child of the 2 Sims, I generate them as teens so that I can see what they look like when they grow up and then put them into a child, and they'll retain those looks as they get older. And I have to say, Kelly and Charles make some very attractive Sims. Okay, but now we are working on George, who could not be more different than Logan. He's very silly and outgoing, making friends wherever he goes. And he's just so cute. He's their only child. So far, they might have more. Who knows? Who has red hair, which I think is very fun. It's fun to mix and match with that. Although I just kind of stuck with the hair that the game generated for them. I think that's just the best way to get kind of a random selection of jeans. George and Sophia's outfits went by so fast because, there's not much to choose from, unfortunately. We really desperately need, I think, more clothes for toddlers, but infants especially, and hairs. Please, give me more infant stuff. All my infants look the same. It's very sad, but they do end up looking super cute, I think. Okay, and then last child, Sophia, who is only an infant, as you can see, is sensitive. She likes her routine and doesn't like anything that disrupts it. She's also very picky and can be a bit fussy, but overall, she's a very quiet, snuggly infant. I can see her being just like her mom when she grows up. That is Eliza's extended family, or I guess technically it wouldn't be extended. Maybe let's just call it expanded. Don't be surprised if you now see a couple more speed builds of their houses in the near future. I'm really looking forward to giving them their own homes and then having them be a part of my forever save when I play with the pancakes. I also feel like Kelly and Summer Holiday would get along really well, so that'll be fun. Also, Darlene and Nancy Landgrab, you know they are the best of friends. But I'm planning to create Bob's family soon, though I feel like his family will be substantially smaller, perhaps? We'll see. I like to just play it by ear and go with what I'm feeling in the moment, but that's it for this video. I really hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please give it a like, and if you are new, consider subscribing so you don't miss my next video. I hope that you all have a great day, and I will see you all next time. Bye!